Does Bigfoot exist? Find out on today's episode. What's up, everybody? This is Josh from Practical Theism. The other week, my wife and I, we took the kids out for some sushi. We were all cooped up all day. Amber and I did a photo shoot for her business. It went great, and it was time to get out of the house, right? So we had dinner, and we felt like we should still do something out with the kiddos. So we went and saw what movies were playing, and we landed on SmallFoot by the Warner Animation Group, right? There were some big players in the mix, such as LeBron James. I think this might have been his first movie. Channing Tatum, Zendaya, and others. So the story follows a young Yeti, Migo, whose world gets turned upside down when he meets a Smallfoot, or a human. Just a classic play on the classic tale of Bigfoot. So after seeing one, which is a rarity in his village, he turns to the village to tell everyone, and the whole village follows him to where the plane crashed, and when they get there, it's no longer there. So it becomes a game of the boy who cried wolf, right? Determined that he saw what he saw, he stuck by his guns, but the leader of the village, who they call the Stone Keeper, set the rest of the people straight. Now, these stones contained all of the truths that were known to the Yetis. Things such as every morning, to make the bright snail crawl across the sky, which is the sun, there was a Yeti that had to smash his head into a gong. And that their mountain has always been floating on clouds, held up by the great mammoths. And below the mammoths, there was the great nothingness. Or that they got where they were by being pooped out of the great ox in the sky, or something like that. The most important aspect of the story, though, was, of course, that there was no such thing as a Smallfoot, or humans. They were told that if questions rose up, that one should breathe and press them down until they go away. One is not to go against the stones, right? Now, when I first started watching this movie, I'll admit it threw me a bit, as it seemed to be clearly trying to poke fun at religion. You know, this idea that religion or beliefs are just primitive, unfounded truth claims that ancients wrote in stones with no clear foundation, right? Now, as the story cruised on through, though, they were hitting on some very foundational principles of religion that I found very interesting. As the story progresses, Migo sets out on a mission to prove what he saw was true, and not just a figment of his imagination. He finds that there are others in his tribe that are actually also on this quest for truth, uncovering everything that they can about truth, even if it goes against what the stones in their tribe have always told them. In a brave quest, Migo goes down below the clouds. Lo and behold, there is not the nothingness, rather there is somethingness, and a whole lot of it. And Migo finds his Smallfoot and brings him back up the mountain to show his people. The Smallfoot, named Percy, and played by James Corden, is also on a quest to revive his media career as a reporter who is having a dry spell. He initially sets up a ploy to fake a Yeti finding, but actually runs into Migo. So after Migo shows the Smallfoot to the tribe, the Stone Master reveals the real reason behind the stones. The whole tribe is basically following the stones because they were protecting them from what humans did to them years and years earlier. Migo is then faced with a choice: cover the truth with a lie, or tell the truth and potentially risk the well-being of the tribe. I'll save you the rest of the story, but the primary thoughts that stuck out to me throughout the movie was this constant and reckless abandon for truth that is laced all throughout the film. And this is precisely what we see in the Christian tradition all up and down the centuries, is a thirst for truth. Not accepting cheap imitations of truth, but seeking the real thing. Truth, real truth, does not change regardless of how we feel about it. I believe it was Archbishop Fulton Sheen that said, "Truth does not change. It only is forgotten from one generation to the next." The truth is the truth, even if no one believes it. And a lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it. We see this principle most fully on display with the sciences as well. The sciences are intended to get at truth, if you will, through an observable method of documentation. And this is something we have seen the church continue to push for throughout the ages. So I think that we can take away something really pointed and smart from the movie and be inspired to always seek the truth, wherever it might lead us. Sure, at times it's uncomfortable and challenging, but it is through that discovery and uncovery of truth that we draw closer to our original purpose and created intent. And it is through that constant seeking of truth that those who are of faith find themselves remarkably closer to God. So go check out SmallFoot. It's really a great movie for the kids, and try and see it through that lens and let me know what you thought. If you haven't already, hit that like button, pound that subscribe button like you mean it so you can get more of this awesome content. Be sure to ring the little bell so you can get notifications of the content. From all of us here at Practical Theism, we'll catch you next time. Thanks.